Hey y'all, I am fin to ride and pick up William. Let's see how long it takes. It's 9:04. 9:04, y'all. Let's see how long it takes. This is just a video, y'all. Of course, y'all know that already. So how have y'all been doing? But these kids need to thank us for the things that we do. It's not enough hours in the day. Is this a car? Okay. Because we're actually doing hair. But we got to stop what we doing to go pick up William. But I'm doing a good job, though. We're doing a good job. I'll show y'all the finishing touches probably tonight. I don't know when I'm gonna put this up, but I know I haven't done a ride. Y'all like ride alongs? At least y'all used to like ride alongs. And I haven't done one in a while. So let's ride, y'all. I was gonna do a story time. Actually, I will do it. Because some people be in abusive relationships, and I was once in one too. Let me tell y'all about the last straw. Okay? So, when I moved to Jacksonville, I was like 23 years old. I met this young fella who I ended up marrying. He was 21. Okay. He was all right in the beginning. I didn't like him in the beginning, but I don't know, because I wasn't attracted to him. His godmama stayed upstairs, and he used to always go upstairs, and I used to hate the fight that how he used to look inside my door. Every time he go upstairs, he got to look inside my door, and I used to be like, ugh, what you keep looking at my door for? Okay, so that's when I started seeing him. Didn't know who he was. I had just moved to Jacksonville. Just moved into that apartment too. So, okay, and one day, he decided to say something to me. That day, I had some beers in me, because I used to drink beer. So I had some beers in me, quite a bit. And he wanted to use the phone. So I'm drunk. I let him in and use the phone. I'm like, yeah, you can use the phone. So he was on my phone for a little minute. I'm like, hold on, now, damn, you gonna have to put some quarters down or something. You know, but I was drunk, just chilling, tripping with him. You got to put some quarters down or something. So he was trying to get his girlfriend back. I could tell he was like going through it or whatever, and he was begging her, you know, to take him back or whatever. But whatever. So I'm studying drinking, studying having fun, and playing my music and all that. So, making sure, long story short, he get off the phone, start vibing with me, you know, just vibing, we just vibing or whatever. And it ended up being a little something. Okay, so the next morning, I smell bacon, eggs, and all that, waking up out my sleep. I wake up out my sleep, I forget that he there. I forget we did the damn thing, okay? So I wake up and I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, my kids was little kids then. So I'm like, what in the world? I had done forgot all about it that night. I wake up, this nigga in my kitchen cooking my food. I'm like, what in the world? Then again, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. So, make a long story short, I eat the food, go back in the bed, start round 2. And let me say this. From that point on, right there, from that point on, this nigga never left. I ended up marrying this nigga. This nigga never left. Okay, I wish you would have. But anyway, so, okay, so later on that day, his godmama come downstairs. She laughed and kick in and like she think it's funny that, you know, whatever. Okay, boom. 2 days done passed. The girl come by, blowing the horn in front of the apartment. I was like, you better go handle that. You go out there, arguing, fussing. I'm talking about they arguing and fussing and they fighting, and I'm like, oh my God, that girl better not come to my door. She better not come to my door. I ain't got nothing to do with this. Okay? So he come back in there, his shirt all ripped up. He got blood all on his shirt, like scratches and shit all in his face, and she done sprayed up with mace and all that. I think she better not come to my door. I'm telling you, she better not come to my door. I told her I found me somebody. I told her it was over. I said, but you were just begging the girl a couple days ago. You were just begging the girl back. We together. Now, we together. Oh, Lord. Look at this. Just to make me his girlfriend. Okay, so long story short, that was the end of that. That was it with him and the girl. Now, this nigga won't get out of my eyesight. Like, he will not leave my eyesight. So eventually, months passed by, never leave my eyesight, Okay, so I guess he grew on me because I'm young and dumb and full of calm. So eventually, it become a thing. Okay, so now we together. Not knowing nothing about possessive and jealousy and stuff like that, but he was, you know, I learned that he was possessive, and I started seeing little signs. But you know, back in those days, we just think that they love us that much. You know, where you going? I'll go with you. And stuff like that. I'm going to the stove. Well, I go with you. You know, and I'm like, okay. So that's how he was, and it got worse and worse. So the first time he hit me. It was like about 6 months. 6 months we had got drunk and I went and talked to trash and it was fighting. But he would never go to the point where I would have a black eye or I would have, you know, bruises on me or something like that because I was a roughneck. You know what I'm saying? I like the roughnecks and I was, you know, we gonna get it in. We gonna fight, we gonna make up. That's how it go. That's what I thought, but that's what it was. So we fight, we make up, whatever. So that's what the relationship was. It was toxic. Okay. So after a while, it got to a point where it was too much toxicness. It was too much of that. I'm like, I'm sick of this nigga. I am sick of him after 2-3 years of this mess. I'm sick of this nigga. I couldn't take it no more. I said, I got to go back home, but people add that my family. You know, I got to get closer to my family because this nigga, he doing too much. He doing too much. He want to argue and fight too much. So I left. Let me tell you how we did it. He would never let me out of his eyesight. So one day I got out of his eyesight, y'all. I ain't telling no story. I called me a taxi and I asked that man, I say, how much would you charge me to take me to St. Petersburg, Florida? About 5 hours away. He said $300. I said, when you ready? I got the hell away. And that's how I end up getting away when I go home. All right? So I pop up at my mama's house, let her know And I'm there. I was in an abusive relationship, and this nigga crazy, so I called a cab all the way here. So she was like, yeah, you can stay until you get on your feet or whatever. So, meanwhile, this nigga know my mama number, they done talked on the phone. He know my grandma number, they done talked on the phone. He know my sister number, they done talked on the phone. So I done left his ass. I'm home now. Okay, and so he ended up calling my mama and my grandma, making it seem like he loved me so much and he don't know why I left him and all that. And they were like, Carol, he sounds so sweet. You don't know him. Y'all don't know him, So months and months passed by and he started calling them and everything, and I finally talked to him. Y'all. Lord beholds. Stupid me. The nigga, now he done came to St. Pete. Because my stupid behind wanted to give it another try. And of course, nothing changed. After a few months of the bull crap, we bite the fussing and fighting again. Okay, so one day, it was me and my sister. And him, we was riding. I forgot what we was doing. But we was doing something, I forget. And so she said, Carol, this is so sweet. Oh my God, this is so sweet. And I'm like, what? She said, turn around. He was in the back seat, me and my sister was in the front seat. She said, turn around. I turned around. He lift up his shirt. He got my name tattooed on his stomach. I said, what did you do that for? Tell me something. Carol, don't be like that. Carol, that's sweet. Carol, don't be like that. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, well, I hope you don't think I'm gonna get your name tattooed on me, because I'm not doing that. You ain't got to I didn't do this for you to get my name tattooed on this. I did this because I wanted to do this. Oh my God, that is so sweet. Oh, that's my sister. And in my head, I'm like, child, this nigga ain't shit. In my head, I'm like, this nigga ain't shit. Right? Young and dumb. So, the marriage part came right around that time right there. Messing with my sister. We in the car again. Me and Kathy and him. She looking crazy. And I'm like, what? She looking like, she about to give it away. And I'm like, what? So he's talking about him. Girl, that's how he did it. He talking about him. Girl, why the nigga had a ring? And gave, the two rings, he had his, and I had the ring and the little marriage, whatever, the two rings. Girl, that diamond was so damn little. Girl, that diamond was so goddamn little, I had to look at that bitch with a magnifying glass. I was like, oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Oh, my God. So, yeah, stupid me. I married the fool at the courthouse like a darn fool. Married that sucker. And we got in a fight 3 days later. And I told him, go your ass home to your mammy. 3 days later, he was back in Jacksonville. Toxic. Back in Jacksonville, and no, that's not it. So, we get back together. Dumb. We get back together months later. I take his ass back. So, this time when I take him back, we used to boost. So he had went to jail. He got out. I was on Section 8. So he went to jail and got out, whatever. And I didn't know that the nigga put my address down for his probation. I didn't know that. Okay, so one day I get this big old letter in the mail. Big old thick letter. Never had a letter that thick before. So I'm like, what in the world is this? So that was a letter from Section 8 with all the papers that he done put my address down that where he lived at, you know, all his papers, well, he done put my name down as his address. And they was telling me that they wasn't paying my rent. Oh my God, you going so fast. Telling me that they wasn't paying my rent anymore. You know, and this is the reason why and all that. And, you know, I have to take it up with the landlord because they're not paying it anymore. All right, so boom. So, of course, I had to move, okay? Because I couldn't afford the rent. So I had to move. So we ended up going to Tampa. That's how I ended up in Tampa. This is how I ended up in Tampa, y'all. So I heard about the shelter. You go stay in the shelter for a couple months or something like that, and they'll give you, you know, have to find you somewhere to stay, whatever. So I did that. And okay, so now we're in Tampa. This was the last straw. Now we're in Tampa. So I meet this guy. I meet people because we was breaking up, and this time when we was breaking up, I was meeting people. You know what I'm saying? I was meeting people this damn time, honey, and I was putting the wham. I was doing the damn thing, okay? I don't even, you know dang on well that's what you was doing too. You know what I'm saying? He probably doing the same thing I was doing, which I found out he was. Okay, he was doing the same thing. We was cheating on each other. Not cheat, well, yeah, cheating because we were married, but we wasn't together. So yeah. So this particular time, I was really through with him because I was meeting people now. I was meeting people that was looking out for me, that were paying my rent, buying me washing dryers, buying me gold, and I mean this one particular guy, he was looking out. When I say this nigga was looking out, this the guy I was telling y'all about, the oldest guy I ever been with, because I never really been with nobody older than me. But when I was 20, I think I said 25, 26 or something like that. 25 or 26, and he was like 30 something. You know, so that was the oldest. But this guy was looking out. When I tell you looking out. So, you know, and I was telling him, he knew that I was married, but he knew we was fighting all the time, and I was putting him out all the time, and he was trying to look out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I pawned my TV a couple times, and I asked him, I said, you'll take me to go get my TV? This is how I started with me and him. I said, you'll take me to go get my TV out the pawn shop? Like that. So when he took me to get my TV out the pawn shop, he got the TV out the pawn shop for me. Like, he got the TV out the pawn shop for me, and I was like, damn, all right. He's talking about, then he was like, anything you need, because he see me and him fighting all the time, and he know he was a piece of shit too. So he was like, anytime you need or whatever. So you know me, I was needing him a whole lot, okay. And every time I asked him for something, he looked out. So I was really like, ooh. I was like, well, I don't know about this. So that was helping me like leave this nigga alone. I'm like, you know, I was taking him back and stuff, but I was like, in the same time, I was just doing my own thing at the same time. Okay, so eventually I met William Daddy. One day. We had done fought, and I had done put him out. He had done went to jail or whatever. He had went to jail about something. I forgot what it was, but he had went to, okay, let me see what I got to pull up. Oh, yeah, he had done went to jail. And I had met William Daddy one day at the house. And damn, that thing going fast. And so that was another little something that happened and wasn't supposed to happen. So he had a girlfriend. He had somebody that he had relations with. Well, he had a little something going on in Clearwater with somebody, and she was pregnant. So, and then I was like, I wasn't trying to be serious with him, and he knew I wasn't trying to be serious. I said, well, I'm married, you know what I'm talking about, and I ain't trying to be in a relationship, but I'm doing my thing, he doing his, and it is what it is, type of thing. So we did that for a little while and stuff, and then, so I was telling him, then me and him had got, you know, kind of, we started seeing each other a little more often or whatever. Not even a month, but I'm just saying a little more often. Okay. And then, so, it got out. It leaked out because I told him don't tell nobody. Like this is I do my thing, but don't tell nobody. We messing around. This me and your thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell nobody. But my homegirl ended up finding it out or whatever, and so he came to my house one day. No. So my husband, I took him back. Right? So when I had already told him I was married, so I had took him back, and I told Lily, I said, well, when you see him come to my house, tell him that my husband home, don't knock on the door. Tell him that, you know, me and my husband, I got back together, and knock on my door or whatever. So I guess, I don't know if she told him or not, but, so eventually he started asking me about him. You know this nigga named Squaze. I'm like, nah, I don't know who you talking about. And I'm like, somebody with a big ass mouth. So I denied it to the end, y'all. When I say I denied it to the end, I denied it to the end. Every time he asked me, I said, I don't know what you talking about. There's somebody hating on me. They jealous. They just, you know what I'm saying? It ain't true. And so I denied it to the end. But this nigga he would not let it go. He would not let it go. I'm talking about, I'm like, oh my God, this nigga, he gonna keep on bringing this up. I'm talking about like a whole 30 days straight, y'all. He was bringing it up. Baby, I'm talking about, I couldn't go nowhere. So I was like, man, I'm done with this. I'm done. So, hold on. Okay. So I was like, I'm sick of this nigga. I'm sick of him. I'm talking, he was like, just tell me the truth. Just be honest. Tell me the truth. Man, I was so high and so drunk. Y'all, I said, yeah, I F that nigga. As soon as I said that, bam! My whole eye just instantly swole up. I was like, OMG, this nigga punched me like a man. Cause he ain't never hit me like that before. We used to tussle, fight and all that, but he ain't never hit me like no motherfucker. Man, he hit me like a man. Boom, my eye swole up instantly. He knew that it was over. When I tell you it was over, that nigga won't let me out his eyesight. That nigga won't let me out the door. I mean, that nigga had got to the point where I put him out and locked him out, right? He jumped in my window, y'all, while I was driving. He jumped in me and my homegirl window out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, y'all. He just jumped straight in the window. Boom. And we were like, we thought he was gonna kill us or something. He had lost his mind, went crazy. So and he had jumped in the house and got Jazz and God bless the dead Tay. He had got in the house and I had went out. I had went out that night and I was like, something ain't right. Something is not right because it was too dark in there. Y'all, it was too freaking dark. And I said, something ain't right. But I had to go in because my kids was in there. Y'all, when I went in that door and I walked to my room, that nigga said, yeah, I should kill you right here. I should kill you. Girl, y'all, I was so scared. That nigga shut that door, turned that and then he had done tied them up. He had done tied Jazz and him up and taped their mouth up so they couldn't scream and let me know he was in the house. That bitch was crazy. And they couldn't tell me that he was in the house because he had done tied them up and their mouth and everything. Baby, when I tell you this nigga hit me hard, bam! Hit me hard. Baby, when I woke up, damn. When I came to, yeah. So we fought again. And I mean, we fought so long till the next thing I know, it was morning. I had done woke up and it was morning. Y'all, when I tell y'all I was tied up, my hands was tied up and my legs was tied up. As this nigga was, when I woke up, this nigga was sitting on the edge of the bed wanting details of it. Wanting details, y'all. This nigga would hit me in my knees with the hammer. He was bashing my knees up with the hammer. I thought the nigga was gonna bash me in my damn head. I thought the nigga was finna kill me with that damn hammer. He would tear my knees up. He would tear my damn knees up with that damn hammer. I just was like, man, this man, do what you gotta do, nigga. Cause I just want that shit just to be over. Do what the fuck you got to do. So he did that for a while, and he ended up letting me go. And then when I stood up, the way I stood up, he hit me. Bam! We started fighting. Bam, 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 bam. We started throwing down in that bitch. Start throwing down. So we fought, right? So there we go again. I can't get out the house. He won't let me out the house again. Because if I get out this motherfucker, I'm calling the motherfucking police. Because bitch, you going to motherfucking jail. So my homegirl Sherry came over one day. And when she came over, I jumped up real fast. I don't know where he was at. But he was out of my sight. But I jumped up real fast. And I opened the door and I let her in. And when she came in, I said, bitch, look what this bitch did to my motherfucking eye. And she was like, oh, hell no. And she just snatched me and we went out the door. We went out the door. We went to the store, called the police. The police came back. The police came back with us. And I said, yeah, nigga, you going to jail. That was it. And that was all. Oh, yeah, nigga, you going to jail today. Oh, we went. I poked her in the eye. That's what he was trying to tell the police. I poked her in the eye. We were arguing. And we was tussling or whatever. And I made a mistake and poked her in the eye. That police said, put your hand behind your back. That ain't no poke. That is not a poke. You had this lady hostage in here for a couple of days. And you was abusing her because I had bruises on my arm, on my legs. I had the black eye. They put that nigga in jail. They put that nigga in jail. And this nigga got the nerves. He had the nerves to get out of jail and knock on the door. He had the nerves to get out. I'm trying to see what this damn fool gonna do. He had the nerves to get out. He had the nerves to get out of jail and knock on my damn door. My baby daddy, he wasn't my baby daddy then. But he told me, oh, no, nigga, you done lost her. Yeah, it's over. That's my wife. He told me, no, baby, you don't do no shit like that to your wife. If you don't get the fuck on from around this motherfucker, I'm going to beat the shit out your motherfucking ass. That's what he told him. And he was like, that's fucked up. You do it like that, Kel. That's fucked up. You do it like that. Man, fuck you, nigga. Fuck you. Shit. And I was like, so I had told him, I said, oh, you got this nigga crazy. You gonna have to be coming around here checking on me. Me and him one together then. I ain't had no baby or nothing. But I was like, you got to be coming around here checking on me because this nigga is crazy for real. He told me, I wish that nigga would think about doing that shit again. I'll whoop that nigga ass. And that was it. That was it with that nigga. That was it with him. But I do got a story when he came back into my life. Not into my life, but when he came back around years later, like 2-3 years later. We'll get into that story another time. We'll get into that story another time. But he came back 2 years later. We ran across each other again 2 years later. How about he had a baby and I done had a baby. So me and him, but I did get pregnant from him one time. And I had a 2 pregnancy. That was it. Never got pregnant from him again. Never used condoms or nothing. Never got pregnant from him. It wasn't meant to be. Okay, so how about when we ran across each other 2 years later, how about he had a 2-year-old and I had a 2-year-old? He had a 2-year-old and I had a 2-year-old. So, bitch, you was messing with somebody too, bitch. You was messing with somebody too. But I tell y'all about when he thought I was gonna reconnect with his ass. I'll tell y'all about that story another time. But y'all, that's it with that story, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.